What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video. Later today, the Ultra League also comes into action in the Go Battle League. And if you are wondering, what do I run, Rise, in the Open Ultra League? I don't know what team. I forget what Pokemon I usually run. I've got you covered. Here's 5 teams from 5 elite trainers in the Open Ultra League. If you enjoy the content, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, let's get going. So, Ultra League, you're going to see some popular themes here, some popular cores. And to get things started off, we have a team submission from LNDS Arreo. Arreo is a terrific battler, also a great Master League battler, qualified for Worlds, I believe, as well. Just kind of an all-around type battler. And he's rocking a team of Shadow Steelix, Golisopod, and Virizion. Shadow Steelix has become a menace in the Ultra League with its bulk and its ability to debuff opponents in the opposition. So it's going to win you a lot of neutral matchups just based off that ability to debuff things. And this team is it makes a lot of sense, right? It's your steel type in the lead, so your anti-flyer per se. And then you've got something like Golisopod, which is a terrific Pokemon to lure out a flyer. It's a great safe swap. There's not a whole lot of things that are going to hard counter it. And then you've got Virizion in the back. So once hopefully Golisopod can lure out the flyer, then Virizion's going to really thrive in the back. So I like this team a lot. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. One recommendation if you do run this team is you're probably going to want to swap that Golisopod to lure out a potential flyer. What you don't want to fall into the trap of is staying in the lead in a neutral matchup, and then there's a Charizard in the back with shields still in play, and you're like, oh no, I'm kind of screwed. So, cool team here from LNDS Arreo. This seems like the type of team I would definitely try out. And let's go on to team numero dos. And this comes from the first ever Pokemon Go World Champion, Dancing Rob. Defensis, Deoxys form, Umbreon, and Alolan Ninetales. 3 Pokemon that are extremely bulky in the Ultra League. And you got to be careful. You might go to some timeouts if you run this team. There's going to be a few Deoxys defenses in these 5 teams. So I know some of you guys are going to be like, Rise, I don't even have a Deoxys defense for Ultra League. What am I supposed to do? Can I replace it with anything else? Calm down, Mason. You can definitely... So Deoxys is a pretty unique Pokemon, right? With its pure Psychic typing, but also counter and the ability to have Rock Slide or Thunderbolt as that second move. So I wouldn't say there's something obvious to really replace Deoxys defense. It's a very unique Pokemon. I would potentially just say a counter user such as like Shadow Machamp, maybe Toxicroak, would be the closest things in terms of counter plus something that can... isn't going to take like too much damage from other counter users. So those would be my suggestions, but Deoxys is quite unique. So feel free to play around and slightly adjust these teams if you feel like something else does a little bit better in that role. Maybe like Swampert works better in that role because it's an anti-steal if you don't have that Deoxys defense form. But Deoxys defense, Umbreon, Alolan Ninetales, 3 really bulky Pokemon. I think Umbreon is going to function as like the safe swap in this team. And yeah, I could see Jellicent being a little bit of a tough lead, but you've got a lot of neutral play around it with Alolan Ninetales, the ability to land that Gleam, Deoxys' ability to land Thunderbolt, and then Umbreon being a hard wall. Dancing Rob as well, ironically, or maybe not ironically, maybe the opposite of that, likes to dance around a lot with his teams, and this team seems to be really good at that because all 3 of these Pokemon can spam off moves quite quickly and are all bulky, so I could see a lot of dancing around with this team if that's your play style where you like switching out a lot. Team number 3 from Mr. Richie. Mr. Richie, the Charlotte Regional Champion from last season, terrific battler from Mexico. And also, if you guys love really like emphatic and energizer type of players, and whether it's sports, Richie, I've never seen someone get so hyped and amped up as him. You can tell he really has a passion for the game, and he just has fun while he's playing. So he's one that's really fun to watch when he's competing at regionals because he gets really into it. And he's rocking Deoxys defense with double and Steelix. So we're seeing some of the same Pokemon that were suggested here. And you might be complaining, Rise, 5 teams. Why can't you have 5 unique Pokemon? We asked these top battlers what's their recommendation, what's their go-to team for the Ultra League. So we are going to see some overlap, and maybe that's just a telltale sign. Hey, Steelix is that good right now. Deoxys defense is that good right now. And we see both of them featured once again. So Deoxys defense, a counter user that's going to beat most other counter users. Double, a normal type to help you against ghost types. And Steelix, a terrific closer as well. Steelix is so good, man. Like, it's hard to say whether it's better as a closer, because if you can get it in a situation where you can debuff the last Pokemon, of course, that's just really good for you. But I wouldn't say it's bad as a lead or a safe swap either, because that debuff really helps you at any stage in the game to make things awkward for your opponent. Shout out to Richie with team number 3. Team number 4 is going to be from a friend, a player who debatably he's in the conversation most swag of any battler in Pogo PvP. Let me know, you hardcore fans, who's got the most swag. I think I gotta give a shout out to my friend Magic Mason. I've always said I feel like he has a lot of swag. 23 EJB definitely, I think, has some swag when he's up there on stage, and he's rocking a pretty cool team here of Alolan Ninetales, Shadow Charizard, and Registeel. I'm a huge Shadow Charizard fan. It's just such a dangerous Pokemon, especially with a shield advantage, and just such a menace where it can really sweep back lines if you're able to get a shield advantage. Charmander and Ninetales is an interesting pairing with it. This seems kind of like more an ABA type team, right? Because you got like 2 things that are good against counter users, and then Registeel, of course, which doesn't want to see the counter users. But I like it. Charm 9 sometimes gets slept on, I think, and sometimes people disrespect Charm, right? So you might run into some teams that are double weak to it. One thing that this team is double weak to would be a Squidward lead or Tentacruel. I like to call him Squidward. So if you see a Squidward lead, this is pretty rough running Charm because I don't know what he does. I would think he just stays in and tries to chip with Psyshock and then comes in Reggie. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if he stays in because against a good player, right, the opponent's going to save their Tentacruel after winning the lead and then save it for later. That's going to be tough to deal with. So Tentacruel is pretty much an automatic loss against a good player, but every team's going to have some sort of core breaker. So yeah, a ABA type team from EJ, but I mean, EJ's in the conversation. Like, he's definitely one of the top battlers in the world, former regional champion of Bochum last year. And if he's running it, I can't doubt it too much, even though it's a little bit ABA weak to some core breakers. That's team number 4 from 23 EJB. We've got one final team for you from a GBL leaderboarder, Mr. Mimi Chinflona. And Mimi has been a leaderboarder for quite some time, and also was able to get 3rd place at the Santiago Regional last season. And he's rocking Deoxys defense, Registeel, and Mandibuzz. Of course, Mandibuzz buffed with that Aerial Ace, as we know. Registeel has been a staple of the Ultra League for pretty much the entire time Ultra League's been a thing. And Deoxys defense yet again. So a very bulky team. Probably the second team, right, along with the Dancing Rob team, that could very well result in some timeout type situations. I think Mimi likes to time games out as well as a strategy in Ultra League. And Zap Cannon debuffs, along with the spamminess of Mandibuzz, I could certainly see that happening. He's also opting for Rock Slide on his Deoxys defense, which makes sense for certain ice types like A9, or maybe if you see the occasional Talonflame, you can threaten to one-shot it with Rock Slide and such. So he also has a ton of Jellicent coverage in the back, so Rock Slide kind of makes sense because he's got 2 great answers for Jellicent in the back, so you don't really need Thunderbolt for that matchup, at least. So those are 5 teams for you in the Open Ultra League, which comes out later today. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, feel free to hit that like button once again. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated. If you're like, Rise, you know, I am having a great day. I just got a new promotion at work. I just caught a shiny Pokemon that I didn't have before. All comments are appreciated. They help out the YouTube algorithm. And all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.